This afternoon, the country is mourning the loss of Colin Powell, the former U.S. Secretary of State and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Ike Ejiochi reports from Washington, D.C.
After 4 decades of public service, former Secretary of State and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Colin Powell, the first black man to hold each of those positions, died Monday morning due to complications from COVID-19, among other health issues. He was fully vaccinated. In a statement, the Powell family thanking the medical staff at Walter Reed, writing, "We have lost a remarkable and loving husband, father, grandfather, and great American." This morning, former President George W. Bush acknowledging the passing of his former Secretary of State, writing, "Laura and I are deeply saddened by the death of Colin Powell. He was a great public servant."
General Powell is an American hero, an American example, and a great American story.
That story starting in Harlem, where he was born of Jamaican parents, growing up in the South Bronx, eventually graduating from City College of New York. Powell entering the Army through ROTC. As a young second lieutenant, he served 2 decorated combat tours in Vietnam, later serving as a national security advisor to President Ronald Reagan at the end of the Cold War. He served under 4 presidents, highlighted by his appointment to Secretary of State under President George W. Bush. But his service was not without controversy. Powell was heavily criticized around the world for his speech at the United Nations in 2003, attempting to justify the U.S. invasion of Iraq.
There can be no doubt that Saddam Hussein has biological weapons.
Those weapons were never found. Powell said his speech about Iraq having WMDs was an intelligence failure, still highly regarded by America's political leaders, receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. He was 84 years old.
A man who was respected around the globe. Quite frankly, it is not possible to replace a Colin Powell.
Powell spent his entire adult life in service to his country. He leaves behind his wife of 48 years, Alma Powell, and his son, Michael. We want to turn now to the pandemic. Tonight, leaders in Prairie Village are going to look at extending the city's indoor masking rules. Well, the current order goes through October 31st. Churches, private buildings, and schools are not part of the mandate. The City Council meeting is starting tonight at 7. And the mask will stay on at Park Hill schools. The Board of Education voted Thursday night to extend its masking rules. Well, they now last until December 22nd, just before Christmas break. The district says that they haven't had to quarantine a majority of their exposures because of the masking guidelines, which is keeping kids in class and learning. And meanwhile, with the rate of positive coronavirus tests is down on both sides of the state line. Well, it is at 7.6% in Missouri right now. It's down 6 percentage points since the beginning of September. And we expect to get an update from Kansas today. And at last check, 7.5% of tests are coming back positive. And with Halloween being less than 2 weeks away, doctors at the University of Kansas Health System hope to keep those case numbers down. This is our second Halloween in this pandemic, but they still want you to be mindful of COVID, especially since younger kids are not vaccinated. But for the most part, the doctors say you should be okay as long as you are careful.
We know most of these children are probably hanging out with each other either at school or after school and other extracurricular things. So really that isn't too high risk, but having those larger parties can be high risk. We know those are high risk situations, especially indoors.
Well, if you're handing out candy at home, doctors suggest you wear a mask and keep your time with kids at the front door as brief as possible. Well, this could be a turning point in the nation's vaccination efforts. The CDC is going to look at green lighting the next round of boosters as more state mandates go into effect. A CDC advisory committee is meeting on Wednesday and Thursday to review last week's recommendations by an FDA panel. Those advisors voted to recommend Moderna's booster shot for older and high-risk Americans. They also said that any adult who receives the Johnson & Johnson vaccine should get a second shot. We're also waiting for the FDA's official decision on those boosters. And the FDA advisory panel is also going to discuss Pfizer shots for kids ages 5 to 11 a week from tomorrow on October 26th. The federal government has already bought enough vaccines for all Americans in that age group, so the vaccines are ready to go once they are authorized. And also happening today, Concord Career College is teaming up with the Kansas City, Missouri Health Department to give out coronavirus vaccines. Until 2 today, you can get your first doses of either the Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson vaccines or the Pfizer booster. The clinic's at the Alex George Auditorium at the St. Joseph Medical Center in Kansas City. And you don't need an appointment. Just bring your ID and your vaccination card, as well as if it is not your first dose.